Okay, give me just a minute. I'm going to hook my phone up and see what we got to do to get this thing in here straight. So give me just a minute or two while I get organized. Let me turn my iPad on so I can see what I'm doing. And there's about a 5-second delay. So we'll see how we are. Let me get my camera set. And let's see, where are we? It's not showing me up live yet. So let's refresh my screen. Give me a minute. And let's see, let me go out and come back in. All right. Shall we stamp? There we go. There we go. Now we're live. Okay, give me a minute so I can figure out where we are with this camera. Okay, let's see. Let me move some stuff out of the way here. Trying to get organized. I have a welcome everyone. Welcome. Give me a minute. I'm going to try to get this thing straight so that we don't look like we're too crooked. And I have some good news for you guys. All right, let me move my stuff over, and I think we might be good the way that camera is looking. I think we might be good. How is everybody this Saturday? All right, hang on a minute. I have this one thing right here, and I don't know how to get rid of it. It's taken up half of my screen, and I just messed up. So hang on a minute. I'm trying to read. Hang on. I don't know why it's doing it. It's on my iPad, and it's taken up part of my screen, so I can't see y'all's comments, and I'm not sure. Hang on a minute. I'm going to see. I don't want to do that. Okay, well, it is what it is. I can't figure that one out, so I'm going to have to look into why that's doing that. I'm trying to watch it on my iPad, and it's got this little thing that's, turn off. All right, hang on a minute. But it's taken up this gray space here that's not letting me. Hold on a minute. Let me get back in here. Sorry, I know y'all are seeing my arms. I apologize. What era are you entering? I don't know. My crazy era. All right, there's this gray box on the right side of my iPad that's not letting me, where it says turn on chat, but it's not letting me see any chats, and it's not moving out of the way. So we'll let that sit for a minute and maybe it comes on. But anyways, okay. Welcome everybody. Welcome to Fundamental Friday. Today we are going to do a new fun fold. But in the meantime, let me move my papers up a little bit because I want y'all to see. Now, don't forget that anytime you place an order through my online store, through the Sunday at the end of each week on Sunday, you will get a free card kit or kits in the mail. So if you place an order by this Sunday evening, then I will send you two card kits for the card that I'm going to be making today. And then all you'll need to do would be to add your adhesive and a stamp that you want to use for your sentiment. So those will you'll receive those at no cost as long as you place a $35 order. Now, if you place a $50 order or more, then you'll get the two card kits, plus you're going to get a full embellishment. Make sure, since we're still in December, that you use this host code. These will be going away, and I'm going to put some information up probably in the next week or so regarding that. But in the meantime, if you'll use that, that would be greatly appreciated. And then your kits should go out probably by Tuesday or Wednesday of next week. All right. And then the next thing is my paper shares. You know, every catalog I do a new paper share. And this month, I'm not doing all of the papers. They do have some specialty papers. I'm only doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm only doing 8 of the papers. So share means 4 people would participate. So you get a quarter of the paper in each pack. Now, I normally cut the 12 by 12s to 6 by 12. I feel like it gives you a little bit more opportunity to use those pieces, so they're not, you know, when you cut them in 6 by 6, you tend to lose a little bit. You know what I mean? So unless it's a 6 by 6, otherwise it's going to be 6 by 12. So you'll get 56 sheets of the new papers, and that will run $38. That does include shipping. And then if you want to include the ribbons, I'm only doing the 3 basic ribbons that are being offered. Those are $24. You're going to get 6, and basically you're going to get 2 1/4 from each. 2, 4, 6. Yeah, you'll get 2 yards, 2 1/4 yards, if I'm not mistaken, or 2.5 yards, 2 1/4, I believe. And then of the 3 ribbons. And if you purchase the both together, then you do get a little bit of a discount. So it'd be $60 for both. And if you want one or the other, then the ribbons are $24 and the paper is $38. It's a great way to get a sampling of each of the papers and or ribbons to see which ones you like. And then that way you don't have to worry about, you're not spending $150 and you may only use the paper once or twice. So just keep that in mind. It's a great way. So if you order the paper and you realize, oh, I like the Friends of the Ocean and the, Wildflower Birthday, then you can always go back and order or purchase those 2 items through my online store. Now, if you're interested, you might want to snapshot this or write it down. Here, it's my Google form. So you'll go in and complete that form. Once I receive that, then I'll send you an invoice. Once I get enough to make the share, I'll place an order. So by the time we get the order back in and I get the paper cut and labeled with the name and colors, it will probably be 3rd week of January. So we'll see how that goes. All right. So now that we've got that out of the way, it would be helpful if I'd introduce myself for those that are out there watching that may be new. My name's Dawn Duvall. I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up! I live in Fort Myers, Florida, and I have been doing this, 2011, 12, 13. It'll be, 2011, 2012, 2013, 14. It's going to be 14 years next month. In February. So anyways, all right. So let's see, there was something else. Oh, and then also, just to let you all know, I've been looking at different streaming software, and I swear, Switcher Studio really had the best because it was the switcher. I could easily do it with my iPad and my iPhone. I have yet to find anything that's going to be as easy as that one. I've looked at StreamYard. I've looked at Restream. So I have decided now I'll only be able to stream to Facebook. I don't believe I can do 2 things at one time. I don't think I can. But I'm ordering a camera that allows me to show the desktop, and then I can still switch around so you can see my beautiful face. Not that you probably want to see that, but it'd be a little bit more personable, right? So that you don't have to just look at my hands waving around on a piece of paper. So that should be here tomorrow. I'm going to practice with it. I have a practice page and see how it works. And I think that's going to work out well. And then I will be back. I might do something next week. I don't know. It's New Year's. I won't be live on New Year's Eve, obviously. So the following week, so it'll be 2 weeks from, a week from today plus the following Tuesday in January, whatever that day is. Okay. I think it's the 4th. All right. And catalogs are out. So if you've gotten your catalog, let me know what you think about that. If you haven't gotten one, just leave me a message saying catalog, and then I'll put one in the mail to you as well. All right. So I hope that makes sense. Okay. So today is Fundamental Friday. So we are going to do another Fun Fold card. And if you like, before I go forward, if you like what I'm making and creating, please make sure you share with your friends and family and crafty friends. I would greatly appreciate it. It's kind of like a double, it's a fun fold, like a Z fold. I'm not even quite sure what you call it. So this is what we're going to create, and I'll show you the 2 that I've made. Well, I'll show you this one, then we'll make one, and then I'll show you the other one that I made as well. Okay, so this is, now, how I did this is a retired, no, it's not. This is, yes, it is. Hang on a minute. Let me see. Where did I get this one? Cheers to, this is in throughout the year. I think this one is still available. Now the stamp, let me show you what the stamp looks like. We're not going to use this one on the next card, but I'm going to show you, this is what the stamp looks like. Okay. Now, obviously I couldn't stamp that on my design because of the length. This is more for a square card, and ours is more in the landscape mode, right? So what I did was I took my Stampin' Write marker and I colored the word cheers, as you can see. And I colored that in Old Olive because that's the color of the cardstock that we're using. And then I did the to you and the in basic gray. And then I did the New Year in green in the Old Olive. Now, obviously, I should have moved the New Year over. I wasn't sure how much space I needed. But I just left it like that. I think it's fine. And then I just added some stars. And then this is how the card looks. So you open it up and you've kind of got like the backwards W card. So isn't that cute? It's just another way that you can cut your paper. And I'm going to turn it like that so y'all can see it. So isn't that cute? It's just another fun fold. Now, I didn't put anything on this side, on this particular card. The next one I'll show you I did, and I'll probably do that on the one that we're going to make as well. It's a very easy, quick and easy card. So if you're sitting around watching TV and you want to make some cards, this is really quick and easy. All right. So let's get started. This was using the seasons of green and gold, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, goodness gracious. And I don't remember. These papers are getting ready to retire. That's the other thing. If y'all haven't checked out my online store, make sure you take a look at it. I think there was about 65 items that are under $10. So take a look at that. We do have things that are 80% off, and then we have our last chance list that's on there as well. So if there's something that you're looking for and you haven't purchased it, make sure you go to my online store and check that out. The link is in the video above or below. I think it's going to be above the video in the comment section or my comment section. So make sure you check that out. But I want to say there were 60 to 70 items that are under $10. Oh my goodness. So y'all check that out. Okay. So let's get started. I'm going to move this one out of the way, and then I'll show you my other one once we get done making our card. Okay. All right. So the first thing that we need, let me move some stuff out of the way here, is we need our paper trimmer. And we're going to, hopefully I can get this in here for y'all to see. We are going to cut our cardstock, and I'll give you the measurements. All right, so this is 8.5 by 11. So we're going to cut our cardstock at, we're going to leave it at the 11 inches, but we're going to cut it at 5.5. Okay, so we're going to move this over, and this is a Pretty Peacock in case y'all are wondering. So we're going to line this up at the 5.5 inch mark, and we're going to cut this down to 5.5 by 11. Okay, now keep this because we're going to use this too. All right, this one, I'll go ahead and do this one next. This is the part that I showed you that we're going to fold. Now this will be, the size of this one is going to be 8 inches. So let's open the arm, and we're going to cut this down to 8 inches. Well, let's cut it this way first, because that way I've got a longer piece. So I want to make the best use of my paper. So rather than cutting it 3 inches off, let's go ahead and cut our length. And we want that to be at 1 3/4 is what we're going to make our width. So our width of the card is 1 3/4. So we're going to cut that. So now I have a piece that I can use for something else. And then this we're going to cut at 4 inches. I'm sorry, we're going to score it. Wait a minute. Hold on. We got to get it up to 8. We got to cut this off at 8. I'm getting ready to score it. We need to cut that down. All right. So this is 1 3/4 by 4. And then we're going to turn around since we have this on here. Then we're going to score this in half, which is going to be 4 inches. So it's 8 long, scored at 4, or 8 wide landscape, and then it's 1 3/4 inches wide. Okay, so that's going to be the part that we're going to make for our second part of the card that's going to hold our sentiment. Okay, so we're going to put that there, and then you've got a couple of little scraps left over that you can use for something else. So we're going to set this aside. Now we're going to take our piece that is 5.5 by 11, and we're going to score this at 1 3/4. So make sure you get your scoring blade up there, not your cutting blade. So you're going to score at 1 3/4, and then we're going to move it over to 3.5. So we're going to slide this over to the 3.5 mark. See, it's really easy. Then we're going to move this over to 5.25. So I'm sliding everything over 5.25. And then we're going to move, the last one is going to be 7 inches. All right, so we're going to score it 7 inches. All right, so that's all the scoring that we need to do and cutting. Okay, so give me a minute. Now, so this is our card base. We're going to take and we're going to fold all of our scores. And you want to make sure that you've got your paper lined up. It's even on both sides. And we're going to go through and give everything a good score. All right. Now, we want to, you can bring this one back, because when we do, not necessarily for this one, but when we start folding these, we want to fold them backwards and frontwards so that we get a good, just so that the paper is enough to where it's going to bend easily to make our folds. So we're just going to fold them. Okay, burnish it. We're going to fold it back this way. We want to make sure it's nice and flat. All right. And then we're going to come in this way. And let me get back in the camera, hopefully. And then we're going to fold that one back. Just again, we want to make sure so that when we open and close our card, we've got a good piece right there. All right. So there's our card. Now we're going to take it. This is the inside. So this piece is going to fold over. This piece is going to fold. We're going to do valley, mountain, valley, mountain. Okay. Just like that. And then I'm just going to come back and give them each another good little burnish. And we'll do that again on both sides. Okay. That's your card base. Okay. So see how that looks? All right. Then the next thing you're going to cut is you're going to cut, you can do white or vanilla depending on what you're using for your paper. And I'm going to use vanilla. So we're going to cut a, which I've already done. We're going to cut a 5.25. Let me make sure I'm looking at my notes. Yeah, 5.25 by 3 3/4, and that's going to go here. And then for our piece, that's going to be our connection, if you will. We're going to cut 2 pieces of very vanilla that are 3 3/4 by 1.5. So 3 3/4 by 1.5. And those will be placed on this piece right here, the 8-inch, where we scored it in 4 inches. All right, so that's going to go there. So I'm just going to set that off to the side for now. All right, now we do need our paper trimmer because I lied. All right, so we got to come in because we're going to cut our paper. Now we need our designer paper. We need it at, we need 4 5.25 by 1.5 pieces. So let's turn this and make this, we want 5.25, right? So let's cut this 5.25. Hang on a minute. I'm going to see which is the best way to use up my paper. So if we cut this at 5.25, and cut it that way. Yeah, let's do 5.25 this way. All right, so now we have 5.25. Now we're going to turn, because I want to get a lot of that gold on there. Now we're going to cut 4. We want 4 strips. And the 4 strips are going to be 5.25 by 1.5. So we're going to do 1.5. We're going to write that over. All right, so we're going to do 1.5. Hang on, get 1.5 there. And we're going to cut, so we're going to cut 4 of these at 1.5. And we're going to do 1.5. All right, and then we're going to do one more 1.5. And I'm not sure, I think this piece is a little bit bigger. 1.5, and then we're going to cut 1.5. Look at that. Wasn't that perfect? 1.5 by 5.25. So we have our 4 pieces. All right. So we're going to take those. Now, if it's too much gold, we can always use the back side of the paper. So I may just, you know, we may flip it over and do kind of like that so it's not so much gold. But that's up to you all. I'm not sure. And I can't see your comments. So I'm thinking, let's see what it may look like. So we're going to attach these. That's what we're going to do here. Now, I could put one like that and then turn this one. But we could then just leave it all the gold, which I think if you want to, I was trying to do a New Year's card, and I thought this would be great for New Year's because of it having gold on it. But I didn't have a New Year's stamp set. Can you believe that? So I think I'm going to leave it all the gold showing. And again, use whatever paper. And this is great if you have a lot of scraps, or smaller sections of paper that you want to use up. So again, this is a great way. And use up your scraps to do that. So we're going to go ahead. I'm going to bring in my craft mat. And we'll go ahead and add our adhesive to our strips. We won't be on here very long, I can tell you that. This won't take an hour, that's for sure. All right, so we're just going to add our strips, and then you can decide how you want your the design. Obviously, if it's got a basic design, then you want to do accordingly. But we're going to go ahead and I'm going to lay this one down like that, and we're just going to go through and line up our strips in each of the panels that we've cut. So we'll go ahead and do them one by one. I would use the back side, but I think it's a little bit too dark with the peacock. But this probably would have looked nice on maybe some gold paper, right? But we're going to go like this. I really wish I had a New Year's stamp because I would have liked to have made a Happy New Year card. And I thought that would be pretty with the gold. All right, so we've got that one. So see how simple this is going to be? And we're just going to add a little bit more glue. And we've got a little bit more of the gold down at the bottom, which I think is fine. So that way it's not so overpowering at the top, right? Whoops. And then we'll add this piece here. I got to bring I need to lift my camera up because I think it's too high for you guys. Isn't it too high for you all? Let me lift it up a little bit and see if I don't screw this thing up. And maybe I better not. Hang on. I'm thinking I should lift it up a little bit. Give me a second. I'm going to bring it up just a tad. That might help. We can move it. Okay. Maybe that helps. I just thought we should bring it up a little bit higher. Okay. I want y'all to be able to see what we're doing here. Okay. So now we've got our, okay. Welcome to those that are joining. If you've just joined, you're going to have to go back and watch the replay now because you probably, depending on when you joined us, you might have missed the beginning part. But we're doing this really easy, like a W fun fold. And this is Pretty Peacock, and we're using the, I forget the name of this paper, Elegance, something Elegance, Season of Elegance, maybe? All right, so those are our 1.5 inch by 5 1/4 strips. So we're going to do 4 of those. And then we're going to place our inside piece. Now I'm going to make this a birthday card. So before I'm going to go ahead and stamp on this now. And I'm going to stamp. I've got some, this is from the, hang on a minute, let me tell you where it's from. This is from the Best Day stamp set, which is retired. I always keep some of my birthday stamp sets because I really like them. I love this set because I like the big birthday thing here and the kitty cat. This one I think retired this past year, but I'm going to use these little guys right here, and I'm probably going to use some of these confettis. All right, but I think this is such a great birthday set, so I always keep those. And we're going to stamp this in Pretty Peacock, so let me go ahead and get my ink out. That would be helpful, wouldn't it? And then I'll show you another card that I did when we get done with this one. So I want to stamp first before we put this card together because I want to make sure if I mess this up, I can flip it over, right? So I'm going to ink up my little celebration things. Now, one thing that you can keep in mind, if you want this to stay hidden, which it's going to show, I don't think it's a big deal. I'm going to stamp these at the top. I'm going to stamp them again at the top. I just think these are like a little celebratory fireworks or whatever. And I got a little smudgy there. See, that's why. So let's try that again. I'm going to clean that. Let me clean it real quick and let's try that again. It's because I pushed too hard. All right, see why I stamped it before I glued it down? All right, so we'll stamp there. And we're going to stamp again right there. There we go. All right, so there's that. I'm going to put that off to the side for just a moment. And now that is going to go on the inside of our card. And again, this is 3 3/4 by 5 1/4. Let me just confirm that in just a minute. 5 and I'm looking at my notes. I'm sorry. Yeah, 3 3/4 by 5 1/4. Okay, 3 3/4 by 5. So we're going to put the Very Vanilla in there. All right. All right. Now we have this piece here. And this is going to be our next piece. We're going to glue those on there. But before I do that, I'm going to stamp my happy birthday, happiest of birthdays. And that comes from, I think I showed you, throughout the year. This is I think this is still available. I don't have a tag. I usually put a tag on it, a red circle, if it is retired. And I don't have one on here. So I am using the happiest of birthdays right here. Okay. I liked it because it's a good size. All right, so we're going to stamp that, and we're going to put that. I'm going to tie some ribbon on here, so I'm going to, let me get up here in the camera. I'm going to leave enough room here so that I can tie a bow on the left side. So I'm going to try to center this, and we'll just stamp happiest of birthdays. That's not too bad. And then we're going to come in and stamp, I think I'm going to do some confetti. I'm going to put a little bit of confetti. Is that straight? Yeah, that's all right. I'm going to put some confetti up here. And then on this side, okay, so that's going to go on this side here. All right. Now on this side, I'm sending this to my good friend. So I'm going to stamp "You're a Great Friend" on this side. Now you don't have to. You can leave this part blank. But I'm going to stamp that. So let's just put that. I'm trying to see if I'm straight. Hang on a minute. Because I'm trying to do this without standing up. There we go. All right, so we're going to do that. And then I'm going to come in with the confetti, and I'm going to add a little bit of confetti on this part right here, so it kind of dresses up this little section. All right, so there we go. Let me put my ink up. All right, so now we can put everything together. Whoopsie, my paper's moving around. You can see my I'm using the tape is that doesn't, it holds it, but it comes off. All right, so the happiest of birthdays, we're going to go ahead and, oh, wait, we don't want to glue that down yet because I'm going to add my ribbon. Hang on. So we'll do that in just a second. Give me a minute here. All right, so we're going to glue, we can put this part down, but I'm going to add some ribbon before we glue this, and then we'll put our card together. Okay, so I've got that right there on that side. I'm going to use a Pretty Peacock in gold, this ribbon. Now I can wrap it around, which I think I might do rather, and then I'll just do a knot because I don't want it to get so thick that it may not hold. So let's go ahead. I'm going to trim a piece of this off so I can glue it down and get my scissors out of the way here. So we'll do that, and then I'm just going to cut another piece so we can tie a what I call a cheater knot, cheater bow, whatever. All right, so let's do, I'm going to take my seal, excuse me for reaching, and I'm going to place that on the back side of this. That way it's going to hold my piece of ribbon when I hook it on here. And that's going to give me my foundation for doing my bow. So we're going to tie that. We're just going to tap that around and see how it sticks to the glue. Well, let me get it over here where it goes. I got my ribbon. There we go. That'll work. Hang on a second. Let me move it down a little bit. Or I can add more adhesive. Either way. I think that's fine. And then I'm going to take this piece and we're going to tuck that in. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now, and then it'll be easier for me. I'm just going to tie a knot. Just tie it, pull it in taut, and then it's going to look like a bow, and then we will trim it off. All right, so that's all we're going to do. And we'll trim that so we don't have too much hanging off. And we'll get that trimmed off right about there. Nope, that one's a little shorter, but that's okay. All right, so this guy is going to get added. So we're going to put our adhesive on the back of this. And we got that glue right there, so I think we'll be fine. All right, so that's going to go on here. And we're going to push that right about there. Make sure that's, yep, okay. All right, we good? All right, so far so good. All right, so that's going to be our piece that we're going to fold onto our card. So we're going to take the card and we're going to fold it in. So we're going to fold it just like that. All right. Now we're going to take this piece and you can, adjust it as needed. All right, so this piece, we're going to have it where it's going to go all the way up on the inside to the score line. And we're going to fold it over so it should come right to the edge of your designer paper if we've got it cut right, okay? And it's even up, it's off just a little bit, but I'm not going to worry about that. It's still going to go, you can see a little bit on the edge here. It still will go in the envelope, so I'm not going to be too concerned. All right, so I've got it where I want it. Now you can place this if you want it down here, if you have it up in the center. You can place this wherever you want. I'm going to place it in the center. Okay, so give me just a second where I can see to make sure I've got it straight. All right, so this is where I'm going to put it. Okay, so I see, and I've got this on the back that's butted up to the score line. So I can see that I need to stay, we're going to do it just on the designer paper, that I need to stay right within, see how the paper's there, just within that square. So I'm going to add some adhesive, right? And then I'm going to fold this over and just hold this down for a couple of seconds so it to grab. Now you can use your seal if that's easier, and that'll make it a lot quicker. But I want to make sure in case it's crooked I can adjust it. All right, so we're going to hold that down, just give it another second or two. All right, and then we're going to do the same thing on the back side. So I'm just going to flip it over. And again, I'm going to open that back up. And I know I've got my guidelines. I need to stay right in this area of the paper and add my adhesive. Right, so we're going to just do that. And I know I need to stay within the lines of this right here. Okay, so we're just going to fold this one down as well and just let it sit for a moment. And then flip it back. All right, and then there is our card. So you can make a couple of these in no time. Isn't that pretty? Look at that. So there you go. So I'll move this up here. I need to get my thing up. And then you open it. I like putting this a little sentiment here. That kind of clears up so it's not plain like the other one, and I'll show you that again. And then this gives you more room if you want to write your love note or message or whatever. But isn't that a cute card? And there you look, it looks like it's a Z, it's like a W fold. It's another fun fold card, and you can use up your scraps, which makes it really nice. All right, so that's the card. This is using Pretty Peacock. And then let me show you the other one I did in another green of the same pattern. So this one I did with Mossy Meadow, and I did the same birthday sentiment. I used some retired gold twine, and it's the same thing. I did use the same sentiment and then stamp my little hooray things on the top. So there's another one like that. So they're very easy to create. And then here's the first one I did where I used my markers to, let me see if I can set that right there, keep you in the camera. And then this one, I used the season of green and gold. And this one is where I use the marker to just highlight what I wanted to off the stamp. And of course, I know I need to get that a little bit more even, but that's okay. So this one says cheers to you and the new year. And then you open it up the same way. This one, again, I left it blank, but you could fill it in with something else if you wanted to. So those are the cards or card that I've created for you all today for our Fundamental Friday. I hope you've enjoyed this. It's always nice to come back to do something that's pretty easy, not quite as complicated. So sometimes we don't have to think about it. All right, everybody. Thank you. I know that was a short video. I thank you so much for stopping by and watching this with me. Don't forget that if you place an order in my online store by Sunday evening, you'll receive you'll receive 2 card kits, and I may pick some different papers and stuff. That's fine. And also the paper shares, and you've got the link. If you go back and watch the beginning of the video, you can take a copy of that as well. Okay, everyone, thank you so much for joining me this Friday afternoon. Have a great weekend, a happy new year, and I'll see you sometime soon. Bye now.